Okay, this is section 7 on page 180. And this is about how some modals change in indirect speech. Can becomes could, may becomes might, must becomes had to, and will becomes would. And here's an example of can and could. In direct speech, I say, Sam, can you call me at 6 p.m.? Anne asked. And in indirect speech, that becomes, Anne asked Sam if he could call her at 6 p.m. When may becomes might, may I smoke, he asked. Becomes he asked if he might smoke. Must changes to had to. You must make up the test if you were absent, the teacher said. Becomes the teacher said that we had to make up the test if we were absent. And will changes to would. So in direct speech I have George said I will finish the report by Friday. In direct speech, George said that he would finish the report by Friday. However, some modals do not change in indirect speech, and these are could, might, ought to, should, and would. For example, Kate asked the boss, could I talk to you for a minute? Indirect speech, Kate asked the boss if she could talk to him for a minute. No change in the modal. Might does not change. I said, Helen, I might attend the conference. Becomes, I told Helen that I might attend the conference. No change. Ought to does not change. You ought to spend more time on the homework, the teacher told me. Becomes, the teacher told me that I ought to spend more time on the homework. Should does not change. Sarah, you should be more careful, Dad said. Becomes an indirect speech. Dad told Sarah that Dad told Sarah that she should be more careful. And that is optional. Of course, you can say Dad told Sarah she should be more careful. Would also does not change. Would you hold the door for me, she asked. This is a polite request. She asked me if I would hold the door for her in indirect speech.